giving Matt Williams his entire lineup for the first time this season. The results followed almost immediately. 8 runs through 6 innings, including the 5th grand slam of Ryan Zimmerman's illustrious career. Tonight, they look for more contact and a 4th straight win on the homestand. The Nats in front of another good crowd tonight. Beautiful evening, Nationals Park. 2nd of 3 with the Padres. Washington facing a guy named Ross. Tyson, that is. Joe goes for the good guys tomorrow. Bob and FP. The Nats have won 3 straight, 5 of their last 7. And FP over the last 3 ball games, 23 runs on 29 hits. And it's coming from up and down the lineup.
Yeah, the line's moving. They're making them work. And you like all the walks, the way they're seeing a lot of pitches, and then get some base runners on there. And how about a little Buffalo homer? That got him started last night. 2nd inning, 2-run shot. It was 2-0 Padres at that point. So Wilson Ramos got the crowd ignited. A big crowd on Anthony Rendon Gnome night. And then the grand salami by Ryan Zimmerman got everybody fired up. One of the loudest times we've heard Nats Park this season. Little curtain call action, place going crazy. It felt like old times last night. The band was back together, and we'll see if they can continue here tonight. Yeah, the box score shows everybody at least got on base last night. Even Denard, who went hitless, got a base on balls. So did Steven Strasburg of the Nats. 8 home runs in 4 games on the homestand. 6th in the league with 127. So it's Gio and Ross, but it's Tyson Ross. He can walk some guys. Gio is looking for number 10. He's 9-6. Tyson trying to get his record back even. He's 8-9. So a lot of Ross around the ballpark the next 2 nights, but the Nats want to beat the guy named Ross in game 2. Straight ahead. For the achiever in you. Concourse is busy tonight. Scoreboard walk. A lot of folks heading up there in left center field. Game 2, there's some excitement about this ball club in the air. And the air is very nice, by the way. 78 degrees tonight. Clear skies in the district. Humidity at 43%. Quite comfortable. Padres are getting ready here. They're 13th in the league in hitting. Ahead of only the
Cubs and the Mets in team batting average at 244. That's a strike from Gio. We're underway right on time, 7:05.
Yeah, last start against the Brewers, he gave up 5 runs, 4 earned in 5 innings.
And that's Yangervis Solarte with a base hit up the middle to start the night.
Struck out 5, walked 2 through 91 pitches. And despite his recent setbacks, still 5-2 with a 2.88 in his last 10 starts dating back to June 21st against Pittsburgh. 24th start of the year for Gio Gonzalez.
Leadoff man aboard. Both of the Uptons are in the lineup tonight. Melvin is up here. Traded over here with Craig Kimbrell to the Padres. It is right before the season started, hitting at 241. And Upton this year is at 55 games, 133 at bats. That's up and away, 2-0. 29-year veteran Bob Davidson has the plate. The crew chief is Hunter Wendelstedt, who's at first. Marvin Hudson second base. David Rackley at third. Interim manager Pat Murphy stacking his lineup with right-handed hitting tonight. And now Gio, after a base hit, goes 3-0 on Melvin Upton.
Well, the Nats need a good one on a Gio tonight. That's their Captain Obvious report.
He's lost his last 2 at the Giants and at home against Milwaukee when he went just 5 innings. Gets in the strike zone with that low 90s fastball. Upton 7 for 25 career against him. Kind of a mixed bag. 7 hits, 2 walks, but 7 strikeouts.
He had a couple rough seasons with Atlanta. 198 average, 21 homers, 61 RBIs. He said he felt the pressure there to perform, and he tried to live up to it every single day. It was a lot different to the atmosphere he was used to in Tampa with Joe Maddon as his manager.
Payout pitch with nobody out, and that's way inside.
Said I was trying to live up to the contract in Atlanta. In Atlanta, they gave me all that money, and I tried to play up to it. It didn't work. It just got worse and worse. Getting to San Diego gave him a fresh start, and nobody expected me to be anything but myself in San Diego. So he's having a good August with a 311 average and maybe feeling a little bit more comfortable in a Padres uniform.
So you've seen the first 2, Matt Kemp now, and then Justin Upton. Jed Jerko, a couple of home runs last night. Derek Norris placed first tonight. So both their catchers in the lineup with Austin Hedges in front of Clint Barmas. Gio's always pitched well against the West and against San Diego, unbeaten in 3 career starts against the Padres. And Matt Kemp was jumping on the first pitch and hit the limestone and ricocheted right back into the mitt of Wilson Ramos, strike 1. Kemp has a career homer against Gio, 2 RBIs.
For some reason, I'm just wanting to go on Twitter to @Nationals. I don't know why.
2 for 5 is the career matchup number. And Matt Williams thought if Gio against his right-handed lineup could get some curveballs for strikes early in the game tonight, he could go to work against these guys. Target was in, and he bolted it right in there. That's a great pitch on a big power hitter.
Well, Gio's got the good sinker. He gets a lot of ground balls with it, but when he's throwing that pitch right there is when he's at his best. He throws that fastball to the glove side for a strike in the righties, and he can consistently bury it in there when he wants to. It opens up all of his other stuff. Changeup away, 2-seamer away, backdoor curveball, all of it.
1-2 to Kemp. And Ramos able to block the breaking ball down and in.
Set the defense for the Nats behind Gio tonight. Same as yesterday. Don't change a thing. Fans back together.
And Kemp hits it high in the air to right. Bryce Harper right there, trying to set himself for a long throw. It'll go through to third and close, but underneath it is Solarte. And the good thing is Melvin Upton, no advancement from first. So on the first out, double play still in order.
Well, that's one where you got to keep the throw low. Why do you got to keep it low? So that Melvin Upton stays at first base. So low enough to where he and Desmond jump for it, and that kept Upton at first, keeps the double play in order. Pretty good throw by Bryce Harper, made it closer than you would think.
Productive out for the Padres with Justin Upton coming in. He's driven in 67 runs. Yeah, Gio usually gets off to solid starts. Pretty impressive. 23 starts, only 3 earned runs. Upton has a pretty good lead at first. He's holding. And a big-time hack by Justin Upton, who career is 5 for 16 against Gonzalez.
Little check of one of the Uptons, trying to keep the double play in order for the other Upton.
Justin Upton's hit into 9 of those this year. Targets in. Fastball up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, usually these situations, you see Gio Gonzalez go below the strike zone. And Wilson Ramos catching Gio for the first time in recent memory. It's been Jose Lobaton and Gio for the longest time. And Wilson Ramos swinging it so well, Matt Williams had to get him in there.
Matt Williams Ball Club, 3 in a row in this homestand. Padres a decent running team, 69 out of 91 on the year. They're 8th in the league in that steal department.
That's where if you're feeling your changeup right now, it's a good pitch. You could get a ground ball with it if you locate it. Looks like they're going fastball in.
2-1. Yeah, they're trying to live in there for the last few pitches. And Gio's been able to get it in there, first on Kemp and now on Upton. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Just so hard to get to that inside fastball. It's got the late hop to it. And you see Wilson Ramos setting up almost behind Upton. And even if you hit that as a hitter, it's not going to be fair. See if they decide to double up with the same pitch.
Melvin Upton really stretching his lead at first now. But he's not going anywhere, and Gio keeps the ball away from Justin to strike him out.
Well,
2 down with that runner sitting at third.
Check out a sequence between Gio Gonzalez and Justin Upton. We always say Gio's a sprayer. And what do I mean by that? What, first pitch fastball up and away. This one up and in. Then he goes fastball up. Now here comes a fastball in. And if you're Justin Upton right now, you don't know where he's going to throw it. I mean, 2 away, 2 up, 1 in. I don't know what zone I have to cover. I'm trying to drive in a run, and that's what makes Gio Gonzalez so good.
Here's Jed Jerko. And Gio gives him that first pitch curveball and steals the strike with it. 26-year-old infielder. Big game last night. 5-game hitting streak.
That was pretty close. Even though Ramos reached across the plate, he was setting up in the ball on the other side.
That's a breaking ball that just stayed outside. Nissan will track it.
Did it stay outside, Nissan? Looked like Gio wanted it based on the body language after the pitch.
Ryan Zimmerman coming forward to receive some of these throwovers just in case Solarte gets too frisky at third.
Well, he's not the fastest leader off hitter in the league, so if he wants to get frisky, go ahead.
2 balls, 1 strike. Long look at Upton, and there's the changeup. 3-1.
Pitch number 23 coming here in the first.
Off speed again, a beauty.
Three-one changeup. Jerko geared up for the fastball. He had a few of those in the stands last night. He gets a 3-1 change way out in front. Good pitch. See if he throws it again here. 3-2.
Upton will be on the move at first base. And Jerko out of play right side. Gio's had some one-on-one battles here. Very first inning.
Away, away, away. We're going in here.
He's gone in effectively. Well, base hit by Solarte. Then a walk to Upton. Took a while to get Kemp out. Took a while to strike out Justin Upton. So Matt Starter, a marathon first inning, but still trying to put that 0 on the board. And he will. 94. He got Jerko to expand and swing at a pitch well outside the strike zone. All that matters, that 0 on that scoreboard. Tomorrow night, as Joe Ross will pitch against hard-throwing Andrew Cashner. Game 3 of the series. Ross will face this hot net lineup all of a sudden. He and Desmond now over the last 5 weeks hitting over 300. 23 RBIs his last 33 ball games. So you look at this lineup. I mean, there is pop in every spot. Denard Span will try to be getting on a couple of times tonight. Had a base on balls in his debut last night. And here's Tyson Ross, 3rd career start against the Nats.
Well, the stat of the night for me tonight is Tyson Ross has allowed just 5 home runs in 151 2/3 innings this year. That's 0.3 home runs per 9. That's the best in Major League Baseball. You know who's number 2? Gio Gonzalez, 0.41 home runs per 9 innings. So, fat chance you're going to see a ball leave the yard tonight. I say that and watch what happens.
Well, this half inning, I hope you're wrong, but it's a good thing he doesn't, FP, because Ross walks a lot of batters. 160 strikeouts, 8th in the league, but 70 walks in 152 innings.
That's the most in Major League Baseball.
And he's facing suddenly one of the most patient lineups in the game. That was Denard going around on a breaking ball down and in 0-2. Span 4 for 12 career with a double and a walk against Tyson Ross. Span rips it into right field. And that's going to get by the right fielder, Kemp. He was playing well off the line. I don't know if Derek Norris had a chance for that ball, but he did not make any move toward it. And suddenly Denard Span standing on second base. How about that sound?
Well, he went toward the bag. Derek Norris, the catcher last night, just goes to first base on a ball that maybe if he steps one step to his right, he has a chance. Watch the top of the screen. He just goes to the base. I mean, the ball was almost hit right where he was standing. And Denard Span will take a thank you very much double. That's how this one starts. And there goes the no-hitter. First time we said that for Denard Span in a long time. And it feels good. 16th double of the season. And Tyson Ross must be thinking, wait a minute.
Didn't I just throw a ground ball?
I mean, it was hit hard. Don't get me wrong. But Derek Norris went to the bag, and it was hit right at him.
On the outside edge for Jason Worth. Well, we told you. Pat Murphy just building that lineup with right-handed hitters tonight. He's got Derek Norris, his catcher, playing first. 5 lefties on the bench. Yonder Alonso usually plays over there. And Worth will advance the runner with a little cue shot to the right side. Taken care of by Jed Jerko.
It's good at bat. Get him over, get him in. Let's see this leadoff double one more time, and where Derek Norris was standing, where the ball was hit. Okay, top of the screen, there he is. Great circle. I mean, it was right where his cleat marks were. What? I mean, am I missing it?
No, you're right.
Maybe he didn't see it. That's the only thing I could think of. He heard the crack of the bat and just went to the base. And he's a catcher.
First inning, infield in. So a great RBI opportunity here for Anthony Rendon, who has 3 career against Ross. That's on the outside edge, and that's a nasty pitch cutting away from the right-hander.
Well, he has a cutter at 90. The slider's 87. The slider's one of the better sliders in the league. It's late and it's straight down. Doesn't have a whole lot of tilt to it. And it's usually to the glove side. That's where he's at his best, meaning away to righties and into lefties.
95. Wow, what a take by Rendon, and a great 0-2 pitch by Tyson Ross.
Well, look at the defense, the infield in, but the middle. I mean, Tyson Ross really has to field his position right here because the middle of the infield is wide open. Pull on the left side, shading him the other way on the right side.
1-2, and that one smothered by Austin Hedges, the San Diego catcher.
I mean, usually you see it a little more spread out than it is right now, but let's check out the Padres defense in general. Upton, Kemp the outfield, Barma Solarte left side, Jerko Norris right side, and Austin Hedges behind the plate. And Hedges is a guy that catches Tyson Ross a lot like how Jose Lobaton caught Gio Gonzalez. He's really good at framing the low pitch. He's really good, as you just saw, at blocking the slider in the dirt. That gives Ross the confidence to throw it to Hedges. Maybe more than Derek Norris, who's more of a glove guy than a blocker. Likes to pick it back there. Hedges likes to block.
Harper next, 2-2 to Rendon. Anthony takes a strike up in the zone, 2 outs.
Well, this is the cutter, and he throws it on the inner half, and it just comes back for strike 3. 91 miles an hour. Late movement. Rendon thought it was in. Now Bryce Harper trying to pick up Anthony. I'm thinking a lot of sliders at Bryce Harper's back knee right here based on video. I saw of Tyson Ross before the game against left-handers. He likes to pound lefties in.
Bryce has had good at-bats against him. 5 plate appearances. On base 4 times with 2 hits, 2 walks. A solo home run, one of those hits. In contrast to Gio, Ross has had trouble out of the gate this year. And it'll go foul. In Philadelphia, there's 1 out in the first inning. The bases are loaded. And the Mets have already scored 3 runs against the Phillies. So Nats, your turn to score here. Span at third, 2 outs. And Bryce will take one upstairs.
Show me fastball to get back to that slider down and in.
Yeah, Bryce hits .346 his last 7 games, and his batting average barely goes up. That's the kind of season he's having. And the San Diego dugout, you can hear the reaction. I mean,
I'd have to look. I already know it's a ball because he has the best eye in baseball.
Yeah, it is.
Whenever he takes a pitch, it's a ball. I mean, there's been so many times this year where I thought we're going to show pitch track and it's going to be in the box, and it just isn't.
Solarte, who's playing up the middle on the shift, was about halfway to the pitcher's mound to run in. 2-2, and Bryce does strike out on that pitch. So the Nats had a great opportunity to take the lead. It's no score. Each pitcher a long first inning.
All you dogs watching, Nats play the Padres 7:05. Special ticket purchase. Fans receive Nationals player pet calendar featuring photos of your favorite Nats player. You can also watch Jason Worth slow dance with his dog. To purchase these special tickets, go to nationals.com/pet calendar.
Well, Jason had a productive out first time, but the Nats could not get Denard Span in from third base. Here's Derek Norris, the former Nat. And he and Gio had quite a confrontation in Oakland last year when Norris hit a couple of home runs on him. 3-0 pitches that left the yard. That ball is scorched into left on a hop to Jason Worth, and the Padres have their second consecutive leadoff single.
How about some lows? Never stop improving. Last 7 for the Nats, 5-2 runs per game up. Taters up, average up, slugging percentage up. Shocking how that works. Hey, in those previous 6 though, there was 4 borderline Cy Young candidates, so that's probably why those numbers were so low. Not just any old 6 games. There were some good chunkers in there.
Here's Austin Hedges, the catcher. He hits one out to right center that'll send Denard Span toward the track, and then he makes the last second adjustment over toward the gap to grab it, 1 out. It is so much fun watching him play center field.
I think Bumgarner, Kershaw, Greinke were in there in those previous 6.
Number 8 hitter Clint Barmas, the shortstop. Gio low in the zone. Good looking fastball there. 0-1.
See, that's where you want to pitch for the double play, right down there.
Runner on the move, swing and a miss, and a short hop. Tremendous tag by Anthony Rendon. Runner called out with Derek Norris on the move.
I want to say hit and run, but in an 0-1 count with the pitcher on deck, I don't think it was. I think Norris just thought he'd catch everybody napping on a first move. Great pick by Rendon. Good tag by Rendon. And watch this. To the backhand, short hop, grab it, get it down quick. And Derek Norris is nabbed, and he caught nobody sleeping. Watch this pick. And watch the footwork, too. Tag right on the calf. Nicely done.
Rendon hanging in there. Now an 0-2. And after the leadoff base hit, Gio has a chance to put this inning away with the pitcher on deck. Clint Barmas 1 for 6 career against him with 4 strikeouts. Broke in with the Rockies back in 03. And he drives one out to the gap in right center. It's coming back to Bryce Harper, though. Bryce right there to grab it. So a 3-batter inning after that leadoff single. 10 pitches for Gio. So Escobar, Zimmerman, Desmond, they're still coming in. Nats trying to get home.
Ross for the Nationals tomorrow. So the Ross brothers miss each other by just one day. I talked with Joe earlier today about his brother Tyson, and he says that he hopes that Tyson throws 6 or 7 scoreless tonight, and then the Nats score a bunch off the Padres bullpen. He said that Tyson's the better hitter of the two. Both take pride in their hitting. And I asked Joe how it would be if they ever squared off against each other. He said it would be tough. It'd be one of those times you couldn't not smile on the mound. He said, I'd make sure to throw my brother lots of sliders so he wouldn't be able to homer and then be able to hold that over me the entire rest of our lives.
Thank you, Dan, with our Coons.com sideline report. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons.
So Joe's still friends with Tyson and not so much with the Padres bullpen.
Just pulling for his own ball club. I like it. Now the Nats have 2 leadoff hits. Span a double in the first, and Escobar his 131st base hit to lead off the second.
Well, Tyson's proud of Joe. He's proud of the fact that they're choosing, Joe to go into the rotation with a pennant race down the stretch. And Joe, growing up, was always compared to Tyson. And Joe's reaction to that base hit, yeah. But it would have been cool to see them pitch against each other.
That would have been neat.
It'll happen.
Ryan Zimmerman. 10th homer of the year last night was a grand slam. He's had 19 RBIs now and 5 homers since coming back from the DL. Tyson career 30 and 49. It's his 95th career start. He's worked about 55 games career out of the bullpen. Escobar started, then stopped. And on a close pitch, it goes to 2-1.
33 stolen bases against Tyson Ross this year. That's second most in the majors behind guess who? John Lester from the Cubs, who's given up 36 and can't throw to first. So that's why you saw Yunel Escobar thinking about going.
Short lead this time. And the count 2-2.
There it is. Wow, 21 against Jake Arrieta, 36 against John Lester. I guess you run against the Cubs.
2-2. On a pitch outside, Ryan Zimmerman can't get to it. And now Tyson Ross's last 3 outs have been strikeouts. Desmond is next.
Just a disappearing slider, and it's so late and so last minute. He has such a short stride on the mound in his delivery that he's able to get really on top of this slider, which is more like a power curve to me. It really doesn't have any movement away from a right-hander. At least doesn't look like it on TV. More down than across.
Here's Ian Desmond. Coming off another good night. A hard luck 0 for 2. He hit that hard ball off of James Shields last night, but later had an RBI double and a base hit, and they both went to right field. Ball gets through Derek, the catcher, Hedges, for a moment. Austin Hedges, spelling Norris behind the plate tonight.
So the funniest comparison I heard between Tyson and Joe Ross with some Padres people is they wanted Joe. They said his mechanics were too perfect in the minor leagues when he was with the Padres. They wanted him to be more herky-jerky like his brother. And I heard that, and I said, his mechanics are too perfect? Isn't that what you strive for as a pitcher? I think it's worked out well for both of them, however they do it.
Desmond pulls one foul. They're 6 years apart in age. Joe had a birthday back on May 21st, turned 22. And then Tyson just turned 28 recently. Had a birthday just a little before that in April. Ian Desmond, a lot of sock toward the bottom of the order, whether it's 6th or 7th in the lineup. .95 with some nasty sink. 4 strikeouts in a row with the Escobar base hit in the middle, and it'll be up to Wilson Ramos.
Check out the Buffalo homer from last night to tied it at 2-2. I mean, he just knew that one was out. Even though it barely got out, he knew that he hit it hard enough that it wasn't going to hook. Little point to the fam. Tied the game at 2. Buffalo's heating up on his legs more and using them.
And Matt Williams likes the way he's getting those knees bent, really uncoiling out of this stance. Nice breaking ball at 87.
DC Lexus dealers are donating $250 to the Children's National Health System for every homer a Nats player hits this season. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
Kind of interesting when the Nats come up to bat. The batter's box is more of a suggestion than anything, because Escobar wipes out the front line before he gets in there. Wilson Ramos, nearly his entire foot is out of the back line of the box. He is way back there.
It's a suggestion box.
Yeah. And a fly ball to right. Misjudging it was Kemp. Can't get to it. That ball was on the ground up into his glove. And then Escobar stopping at third. So the Nats have runners at the corners as Matt Kemp really kind of ran a circular route before coming forward.
Well, I said last night on the Ian Desmond double that Matt Kemp didn't look like Matt Kemp. And the same goes right here. I mean, this ball's in the air for a long time, and you see him kind of go back on that and realize it wasn't hit as hard as he initially thought. Good effort at the very end, but it short hops into his glove. Good job of keeping it in front of him. A little Jason Worth faceplant right there on top of it. But maybe Wilson's home run to right field had little something to do with Matt Kemp going back on that fly ball.
Gio Gonzalez has 3 hits on the year, 2 RBIs. And Ross throws 187 by him. The count's 0-2. And that got Austin Hedges. He's kind of reaching up for that breaking ball that was setting up, and then Gio tipped it downward.
Yeah, just above the left knee on the quad. That's the only bad slider that Tyson Ross has thrown all night. His slider's been electric.
Well, Gio hasn't seen anything in the 90s in this at bat. And he strikes out on that slider way outside. Nats get a couple of hits. They've had 3 already. They go 3 for 9 first time through. No score into the 3rd. That kind of summer event. Nyjer Morgan coming home. Ian Desmond would have a 4-hit game. An RBI infield single off the glove of Aaron Miles. The difference, it was an up and down and up again 11-10 win against St. Louis. That win spoiled Albert Pujols' night when he hit his 400th homer. By the way, Jordan Zimmermann that night made his first start since coming off Tommy John surgery 5 years ago, and it was the first time two teams scored 10 in a game at Nationals Park.
Well, that's nothing, Bob. The Nats open a 3-game series against the Marlins on Friday, August 28th, 7:05 start. Be one of the first 25,000 fans to receive a Nationals t-shirt presented by American University, or visit nationals.com to purchase your tickets. I counted 13 cranes out there today. 13.
Oh yeah, the ones over in right field, the shorter ones. I was going to say I'm craning my neck to find more than 8, but there are several over beyond right field.
Yeah.
The hitter, Tyson Ross. He can swing at 9 hits, a home run, 3 RBIs. This year, he's a .207 career hitter.
Good thing about those cranes is I can really sleep in the morning. There's no noise of stuff being built at 7 a.m. Look at that.
If you build it, cranes will come, and the Padres found that out years ago. 2-2. And a ball ripped beyond the reach of Ian Desmond. Over to cut it off, Jason Worth. And for Tyson Ross, his 10th base hit of the year. Brother shaking his head at him.
Joe shaking his head. Let's see if Tyson looks in the dugout. Third leadoff single in as many innings for the Padres. Solarte, Norris, and now Tyson Ross with a bullet to left center.
So Gio, first 9 batters through first pitch strikes to 8 of them. This ball popped up by Solarte. Escobar and Ramos looked at each other, and then nobody ended up anywhere near it over by the camera bay. Wilson Ramos pulled up, and then Escobar had a long way to go.
Somebody said no lo veo, which in Spanish means I can't see it, and that's because of the twilight here. No lo veo.
Yeah, it was Ramos.
It's that time when it gets past the lights.
Off speed, a beauty from Gio on Solarte, who singled hard up the middle to start the game. And this ball popped out to short left. Ian Desmond, he finds it.
Ooh. You're right, he found it, because when his arms were out at first, he didn't see it. Unless he was trying to go big time deke to Tyson Ross at first. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what he did.
He looked over at Tyson after it. He's trying to bait him into leaving right there. Smart, especially after what just happened.
Next up, Melvin Upton. That's the first out, 3rd inning. To third, not an easy play. Escobar couldn't get a handle. Then he throws wide of first. So a possible double play ball turns into 2 runners safe.
Well, that wasn't going to be a double play ball because Melvin Upton can fly. So once he bobbles it, he decides to go to first, which I think was the right decision by Escobar. He just had to rush his throw because of the speed of Upton, and then he took a second to get the grip and make his decision. All that time, which doesn't seem like much, but when you got a guy that can fly, just that little double pump, now you have to rush the throw, and you throw a nasty sinker to Ryan Zimmerman. So right decision right here. When he looks to second after he corrals the baseball, Tyson Ross was going to be safe.
2 on, 1 out. Last time Matt Kemp stepped in, it was 2 on, nobody out, and Gio got him on a fly ball to right.
Gio putting some hard miles on the car here tonight early.
3 hits, a walk, and now an error. Escobar's 5th of the year. And that one out to right center. It's on the ground. It'll put the Padres on top. Ross scores. Upton coming around. And the Nats have no chance to throw him out. It's San Diego 2-0. And Matt Kemp RBIs number 77 and 78.
When you look at the pitch, first of all, fastball down and in. That's a nice piece of hitting by Matt Kemp. That's not a bad pitch by Gio Gonzalez. Even though they wanted to go the other side of the plate. And then once it gets past Bryce Harper, an easy send because Melvin Upton Jr. could fly. It's a good swing.
3rd and 4th career RBIs by Kemp against Gio. Here's Upton. Gonzalez struck him out first time up. Out of play, right side.
Well, it's all Gio Gonzalez has to do is look as far as last night. Steven Strasburg gave up a couple runs early on a Jed Jerko home run, and he said, that's it. That's all I'm giving up. I'm going to keep him right there, and he won the baseball game. Same goes here. Although Tyson Ross with a little better stuff than James Shield had last night, but that's how you have to think.
That ball well hit to left center. And it's in the bullpen. A laser shot by Justin Upton. And just like that, San Diego leads 4-0. That's his 21st.
Well, check out the location of the pitch. They wanted it down and in. It was right down the middle. And Gio Gonzalez has been doing a good job of getting that fastball into right-handers. Fails to right there against Justin Upton and pays.
Only the 7th home run Gio's given up this year in 134 innings. Count at 50 with 1 out, 3rd inning.
You know, I saw something interesting on the error by Escobar. Ryan Zimmerman had the baseball, and Gio Gonzalez was saying, give me the ball, give me the ball, let's go, give me the ball. And I think things got going a little too fast for Gio right there.
Good changeup to strike out Jed Jerko. That's his 3rd K of the night, 2 outs, 3rd inning.
And I understand the thought process. He's like, okay, there's an error, I want to pick him up right here, but if you saw how he was doing it and you've been around Gio a long time, you knew that things were starting to go fast. It was starting to go super fast. And that's the time when you used to see LaRoche go to the mound or Jose Lobaton go to the mound and slow him down, slow the game down and get him back. And it got going too fast, and a double and a home run later, it's 4-0.
Derek Norris base hit leading off the 2nd. First time up.
That's what I'm talking about. He just wants the ball. Let's go. Okay, sees the error. Here, wants the ball. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. I'm going to get the next guy out. And then it starts going fast. And that's when, in the past, you've seen teammates help him slow things down.
Over to the right side for Ryan Zimmerman, just into foul ground. Big inning for San Diego. They put a 4 on the board, and the Nats have to get busy. Span straight ahead. What they've done against the Padres. So look at the healthy batting averages. 7 for Span as far as hits, worth 4. Anthony Rendon 2 for 6. And Bryce Harper waiting in the wings if it's not a 1-2-3 for Ross. That's his 35th pitch. 24 strikes. He has struck out 5 already. And he's throwing that mid-90s pretty free and easy. Big guy, 6'5", 230, they list him. Good take by Denard, up and in. To the right side, and Derek Norris stays with that one. 1 out. Just into the 8 o'clock hour, bottom of the 3rd inning. The Nats are on a 3-1 homestand right now. Padres on top in game 2. Tomorrow night, Joe Ross, Andrew Cashner. Ross 4-5. And the hard-throwing right-hander, Cashner, 5-12 with a 4 ERA.
I mean, the way the Nats get back into this game is make Tyson Ross throw pitches, hope he walks you. We talked about the 70 walks being the most in Major League Baseball, but the dilemma is maybe his slider, you don't want to get to a 2-strike count because it's a wipeout slider. So, you know, as a hitter, okay, yeah, I want to work the count, I want to see some pitches, but I don't want to get to 2 strikes because it's a tough slider to pick up. But you got to let him walk you back into this ball game. That's how the Nats climb back in this one.
Worth a ground ball to the right side, first time. Advanced Span from 2nd to 3rd on the first out, bottom of the 1st. But Anthony Rendon and Bryce Harper struck out. End of threat. Worth came into this one 5 for his last 15 with 3 walks on this 4-game homestand. There's the slider on 2-2. Nasty.
Exactly what I'm talking about. You're trying to work a count. You're trying to get his pitch count up. But then once you get to 2 strikes, if you don't get that first heater that comes across the plate for a strike, now you're at his mercy with this pitch. And it just looks like it's tough to pick up. You could just tell by the swings you're seeing.
That's a mid-90s for a strike to Rendon.
And if he keeps getting that pitch, it could be tough to get back into this one, because that looked like it was off.
Cutting away for the right-hander at low 90s.
So check out pitch track. It's a 1-2 count and not one in the box.
Well, you know he doesn't want to walk this guy in front of Bryce Harper. So Rendon should get something with which to work here. Well, he doesn't throw him a fastball and still strikes him out. In the dirt, Rendon thrown out by Hedges. 7 Ks for Tyson Ross. And now this game into the middle innings.
Using hashtag NatsCouchCam, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast that's brought to you by T-Mobile.
Top of the 4th inning. The catcher Austin Hedges taking one away. Turned 23 8 days ago. And Gio misses. It's 2-0. Padres took Hedges in the 2nd round back in 2011. He was considered the 2nd best catching prospect in that draft. And San Diego has now had a leadoff single in all 4 innings.
Well, they've tried to shorten up his swing at the major league level. They knew his defensive skills were good enough to get him up here. Like I said, he's Tyson Ross's personal catcher because of the way he blocks balls and frames the low pitch. But he's a work in progress at the plate with his swing. That approach looked good, however. Real short, right back up the middle. Nice swing.
And now here's a contact guy. Clint Barman sitting ahead of Ross. Low and inside, another hitter, 2-0.
Now, this is a time of year with, the hand that you're dealt, that every single start you have to treat like it's the last start you're ever going to have. And as a position player, you have to treat every game like it's the last game you'll play from here on out. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room, especially at home.
3-0 in there.
And the way the Mets are playing in 5.5 back.
Gio's won one of his last 5 starts coming into this. And that's a 5-pitch walk to the number 8 hitter. Ross base hit first time, probably bunting here. That's the second walk of the evening. And their pitcher could set them up for another solid inning here. And the Nats, hey, it's late August. It's time to get the bullpen working.
Yeah, this is the check your feelings in at the door.
So Doug Fister. By the way, Tanner Roark starting at Potomac tonight, and Tyler Moore was scheduled to be in that lineup as well. Here's Ross, who got that 4-run inning started with a leadoff hit. He has 7 sacrifice bunts, and I mean, he lays that one down like he's a position player. This guy can handle the bat. So he has 10 hits this year and 8 sacrifice bunts. Top of the order, Solarte and Melvin Upton, with the infield coming in, the next 2 hitters. So 2 times through, and 3rd time around's been rough for Gio this year.
Obviously pitching for the strikeout in this situation, but up by 4, if you got a guy that can handle the bat, this isn't the worst time in the world to think about a squeeze if you're the Padres. Now, everybody always thinks of it in a tie ball game or maybe down by 1. You do it when, if it doesn't work, it's not going to kill you. Only thing is, you don't know if you have a guy that's going to give you a pitch to bunt.
Yeah, that's true. Catcher at 3rd base, the runner. Then Gio misses well off the plate with a breaking ball. So 4th inning, 3rd plate appearance for Yangervis Solarte, their leadoff guy. Target in, pop fly, right side. Some long chases going on here. Zimmerman gets there, basket catch, runner coming home, and he's got it on a foul ball, sacrifice fly. 5-0 San Diego.
That's a heads-up play by Hedges at 3rd base. He knew that Ryan Zimmerman, if he caught this, was going to go away from the play. Zimmerman chose not to plant his foot and throw, but to throw on the run, and then the ball just kind of checked up on the grass. Watch the hop just kind of stop. So good hustle by the Padres. Catcher, 5-0.
Other runner to 3rd with 2 outs, and here's Melvin Upton.
Glenn Hoffman is a really good third base coach. And on plays like that, he'll get in a runner's ear and say, if it's Rendon, no. If it's Zimmerman, yes. Meaning we're going to test one arm, we're not going to test the other. They get right up on you when you're on third base, and they'll tell you yes, 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 no, 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 right in your ear, because if they're not right up on top of you with the crowd, you can't hear them. Usually you make your own decision in that case as the runner, but a lot of times third base coaches will help you out on your decision-making process. He did right there.
Up and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Glenn, the older brother of Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah, he's a good baseball man. Been a coach at the big league level for a long time.
Big league manager, too, with the Dodgers.
Yeah. 2-2. Got it. Upton didn't like the call. Padres pick up another run. It's 5-0. Bryce Harper will lead off, bottom 4. Well, waiting in the right field corner, it is Dollar Ice Cream night here. They took some selfies with a human ice cream cone. He's late getting to the finish line, but George. And they're celebrating at Mount Vernon. Harper, bottom of the 4th.
There was a lizard and an ice cream cone. Whoa. With sprinkles too, Kirk. You like sprinkles on your soft serve?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
A lot of people know this. I am pure vanilla. They've been listening. 1 ball, 1 strike, bottom of the 4th. There's a lot to be said for good old vanilla ice cream.
There is. I like the hard shell.
I will take it with some chocolate too.
I like dipping it in the hard shell.
Oh yeah. 2-1. Bryce had a man at third, 2 outs when Ross struck him out, ending the first inning. The Nats have a couple of singles since, but they're down by 5. And Bryce Harper takes his 92nd walk of the year. He knew he couldn't hit a 5-run homer or a 4 or a 3 or a 2, so he takes the base on balls, and the Nats have their 3rd leadoff hitter. aboard in 4 innings. So guys who've walked more per 9 innings than anybody else. And Tyson Ross, that is way up there at 4.15. Brought to you by Jeep. But it took him to the 4th inning to walk anybody here. Escobar lined a clean single to left field, first time up.
It's the 46th walk the Nats have had in the last 8 games.
Escobar the other way. Derek Norris. He had a play in front of him at short. Decided to go back to the bag. Outstanding play by the catcher playing first tonight.
Yeah, great play by Derek Norris. We showed you the earlier one where he kind of retreated right toward the bag on Denard Span, leading off the game with a double. That one a step and a dive. Nice play. That's his 7th start of the year at first base this season. 10th career appearance over there.
There's Ryan Zimmerman. Ross struck him out first time.
This is a character check for the Nats. This is what kind of fight do you got in you tonight? You look at the scoreboard. The Mets are up 3-0. You're 5.5 back, staring at 6.5 if you don't figure out a way in this one. What do you got?
Three and 0, and heading for third now is Harper. Bryce will get it as the ball was dropped by Jed Jerko, who might have rushed himself on the exchange. Good thing Bryce made it. He's at third base with 1 out.
Yeah, you don't want to get picked off down by 5, but watch Bryce kind of hang out there and set him up. He was thinking about going to third all the way. It wasn't like he just stood out there and went, uh-oh. Watch him start to lean before the throw. He wanted to do that initially. It was going to be close if he'd have went with his first instinct, but he was waiting for the release from Hedges before he could go.
3-0 to Zimmerman, and now a 3-0 pitch on the borderline gets called a strike.
Bob Davison has given Tyson Ross a good 2-3 inches outside all night long.
Zimmerman up the middle. Pitcher slows it down. It'll be close at first. And a good play by Jerko. But the Nats are on the board. Ryan Zimmerman, RBI number 54.
All right, break the ice. Get on the board. Good play by Jerko on the bare hand. Bryce Harper responsible for that one. Taking a big-time risk down by 5. He gets to third base and gets Ryan Zimmerman an RBI and his ball club on the board.
Ryan Zimmerman, 1 ahead of Ramos in RBIs and 1 behind Michael A. Taylor with that one. Ian Desmond out to short for Clint Barmas. That's it for the Nats, but they turn a leadoff walk and some Harper daring base running into their first run of the night.
Gio Gonzalez trying to keep this a 4-run ball game. Justin Upton with a 2-run home run, his 21st, the big blow in this one. And Matt Kemp last time up with a double to right center that scored Melvin Upton and Tyson Ross.
Kemp now with 78 runs batted in. Gio 72 pitches through 4. And 2-0 on another hitter. First time around the lineup, Gio threw first pitch strikes, and Doug Fister continues to work to 8 of the first 9 batters. That was pretty good. He pulled the string and had Kemp way out in front. Two-2 pitch, target in. Got him right on over the plate, and Kemp knew it. Wilson Ramos was set up right behind Kemp's bat handle, and Gio just bolted one right in there. 5th strikeout.
We go back to the 3rd inning. Justin Upton looking for that fastball in, got it. And that was a low liner out of here, a tracer, if you will. Pittsburgh 106.
Yeah, that thing got out of here in a hurry. That probably left the ballpark as fast as any ball we've ever seen go right over the fence into the bullpen. Got out there, had another gear, and gone. So Upton's 21st, his RBI total 69. Gio with a good breaking ball right in there, 0-2. Wow. The epicenter right there.
Gio struck him out on a fastball up and away first time up. He tried to throw it right there. It's a little too high.
Two-2 pitch. Another hook.
Hasn't really established a curveball in the zone tonight, so if you're a Padres hitter, you see that rotation. There's really no inclination to offer at it because you haven't seen it for a strike consistently. When Gio's throwing that fastball in, curveball first strike, that's when he can bounce him with 2 strikes, and you see the swings and misses.
And he got him upstairs. Justin Upton down for the 2nd time tonight on strikes. 3 Ks in a row for Gio, 6 in the game.
The same pitch he swung at his first time up for strike 3. Couldn't hold up there.
He has struck out Jed Jerko twice. Right now blowing that fastball by everybody in inning number 5. Gio due to bat 2nd in the bottom of this frame. And under the glove of Escobar. Jerko able to turn on the off-speed pitch and get a base hit.
And that's going to do it for Gio tonight. Matt Williams coming out, going to Doug Fister.
Well, that's something with the batting spot coming up second, as mentioned in the bottom of this inning. The Nats are down by 5. Gio Gonzalez giving up 7 hits in fewer than 5 innings. This call to the bullpen package by the UPS Store, your one-stop shop for all your small business needs. Let us handle your mailbox service needs. We love logistics. Here comes Pfister. Struck out 6. The home run by Upton really busted this thing open from 2-0 to 4-0. And now it's up to Doug Pfister to take care of the Padres for a while.
Yeah, fastball, slider, curveball change. Fastball averaging 86 this year for Doug Pfister. And if you're wondering why Matt Williams didn't go double switch, well, it would have to have been with Ryan Zimmerman or Ian Desmond. 10 home runs and 15 home runs respectively. And if you're going to get back in this ball game, you're going to need those bats to pop one out of here later in the game.
Yeah, so Doug Pfister, well, maybe Ramos gets aboard and Doug can swing the bat or bunt. Right now, the thing to take care of is getting out of this inning. Derek Norris, 3 for 4 career against Pfister with a triple and a home run, 5 RBIs from some Detroit Oakland days in the American League. Gets around early on that one, well out of play. Left side, Escobar to his left, right to Rendon, and the inning is over. So the Nats come up bottom 5. Long way to go in this one. Ramos, Pfister, Span. 1. Look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. 5-7-0 Padres, 1-3-1 Nats. Another element to that decision Matt made a moment ago might have been Derek Norris and his career success against Gio Gonzalez with those home runs last year. Didn't want to see any more runs on the board. So it'll be Ramos, Pfister, and Span, bottom 5. Ramos inside out swing, and it's down into the right field corner and leaving the field of play. Ramos base hit, right field line first time. And this one sharply to the shortstop, Clint Barmas.
All right, 80s night, Nats Parks, Saturday, August 29th. Marlins in town, 7:05 start. You know that part. With special ticket purchase, you can receive a Nats branded Rubik's Cube. That's while supplies last, and get exclusive access to see 80s tribute band The Leg Warmers. Pre-game performance of the Miller Lite scoreboard walk. Go to nationals.com/80s night for more info.
Doug Fister, 7 hits on the year. 7 for 28. In one career plate appearance against Tyson Ross, he has a sacrifice. And that didn't take long. Ross, strikeout number 8. So 2 quick outs against the bottom of the order. Next up, Denard Span, who's 1 for 2. And hit the ball extremely well for a double past Derek Norris, first time up. And a foul ball off Denard's foot. Tomorrow night, finale of this 3-game series. Joe Ross for the Nats, 4-5. Andrew Cashner for the San Diego Padres. The Marlins are in for night games Friday, Saturday, day games Sunday. Then the Nationals will play 3 straight night games in St. Louis next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before coming right back home against Atlanta.
Good take. That's the one that's tough to lay off of for a left-hander. And that's the one that Tyson Ross has made his living with. Especially here tonight, more against the righties than the lefties, though. He's been tough on them with the fastball away, slider away combination.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Span up the middle sharply. Barmas had him played that way. And a 1-2-3 5th inning for Joe Ross, who has taken a big ballpark and a nice crowd and quieted things down. Top of the 6th inning, 7, 8, 9 for the Padres here. Doug Fister bending the catcher Austin Hedges back with 85 high and tight. Fly ball to center, 2nd inning. The leadoff single, scored a run in the 4th. And Doug had him locked up on that one. Still 3-0 in Philly. Bartolo Colon and Jared Eichhoff for the Phillies tonight. He's 2 for 3. They have 4 base runners and a sacrifice from their bottom 3 hitters tonight.
Hit the ball hard 3 times. The first time up, he squared up that ball to center field. Denard Span, a couple of singles, 2 for 3 in the 7-hole.
So the Padres box score. The damage from Ross, who singled leading off the 3rd. 1 out later, the Upton ground ball that Escobar threw wide of first. And then Kemp, the 2-run double. Upton, the 2-run homer. Launching one first pitch here. Clint Barmas out to left center. Denard Span takes charge. Has it for the first out.
Those could be tricky right there, because Denard Span had to take his eye off the baseball for a second to see if Ian Desmond is coming hard toward him. And it's right in that no man's land, even though it was hit high. I've seen these become a little bit tricky. You see Span looking at Desmond right when we showed you the shot and then screaming real loud, "I'm here and I got it."
There's Ross, who's had a perfect night at the plate with a single, a run scored, and a sacrifice. Looking to push another runner to scoring position.
That's a come on, let me hit look if I ever saw one. Little tremor. Don't panic.
That'll rattle the cage for our RoboCam down there.
Heads up on the foul tip back at the RoboCam. That's how I felt in my hotel in San Francisco, that 4.0 last road trip.
1 ball, 1 strike. With the runner going, a swing away and a foul off to the right. Tyson Ross got good wood on that just late. Hedges the catcher on the move. You can do a lot of things when you're ahead by 4 runs in the middle innings with a pitcher who can handle the bat. He'll chop this one fair for a while, then it made a left turn. For the Achiever and you, PNC Bank, with our minor league report, Tanner Roark gets 4 innings tonight. No runs on 3 hits, didn't walk anybody, 5 strikeouts down at Potomac against the Frederick Keys. So he had 4 ground outs. Nobody hit the ball in the earth for an out. Bunch of strikeouts. Well done, Tanner Roark.
And he better have bought everybody an awesome spread after the game.
I bet he did. Or will. 1-2 pitch, and that bounces. Ramos picks it cleanly and then threatened to throw to first.
Bloomin' onions on Tanner Roark for everybody.
Midnight meal of champions, huh? 2-2 pitch. This ball driven to the right field corner. Bryce Harper over. Can't get it. Foul ball. And Tyson Ross getting his money's worth here. Tanner didn't go 5, but it is 10-0 for the Potomac Nationals right now.
I like that Bryce Harper chose the high road right there and didn't try to do anything heroic with that wall approach, and that was smart.
2-2 pitch. Another base hit for Tyson Ross. He's been pull side twice, and he's 11 for 45 on the year.
Joe watching his older brother rake tonight. Single his first time up, beautiful bunt second time up, and another single his third time up. 2 for 2 with a run scored, sacrifice bunt, helping himself out big time at the plate. How about if you're an A-ball for the Frederick Keys and you get Lucas Giolito one night and Tanner Roark the next? Wear that one. Yeah. How'd you do tonight, son? I went 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Well, how'd you do tonight? Well, I faced a major leaguer and went 0 for 4 again.
Yeah, Skipper, I thought I was an A-ball here.
Well, those are the at-bats you live for. You usually don't see major leaguers on rehabs pitchers-wise in A-ball, so when you do as an A-baller, that's your test. You're 3 levels away and you're thinking, if I can square one up against this guy, I can play in the big leagues.
Bryce Harper moving back in front of the track here, right at the edge. And both runners moving up. Ross goes into second base. And he's out. Did he pop off the bag?
He did.
Looks like a 9-6 double play and Bryce Harper's 7th assist of the year. So it looked like he got in there, but might have come off the bag, and the Padres want to take a look at this.
That's why I see everybody walking off the field, but the guy that's walking off that's telling me the whole story is Tyson Ross. If he thought he was safe, he'd be standing on the bag. He's taking his batting gloves off, he's walking off, so he knew he came off the base and he's out.
So Bryce Harper, another assist. He's safe, and then he is out.
A call, but for you younger players at home, because of replay, you can't do it in the big leagues. But watch Ian Desmond for you young players at home. He puts the tag on Tyson Ross, and I think his fingers just came off the bag. But watch what he does afterwards, and this is called selling a call. He looks at second base umpire Marvin Hudson, gives the out sign, shows him the ball in the glove. So for your younger players, if you pop a tag on somebody quickly, and then you show the umpire your glove with a ball in it, that's called selling a call. And you can buy a call on a bang-bang play if you do something like that. With replay now, it doesn't matter. You can sell the call all you want. They go look at it and change it. At the major league level, it's become a lost art. But right there, that's a nice example of Ian Desmond selling a call and showing the umpire the baseball and actually calling the guy out, too.
He did, and he was right. Jason Worth, high fly ball left field on the first pitch. Justin Upton, long way to go, 1 out. The Nats do not have a hit since Wilson Ramos bloop single with 2 outs, second inning. They had 2 before that, and the run was manufactured by Bryce Harper with a leadoff walk in the 4th. With the second on a grounder, stole third when the catcher threw in behind him at second base, and then scored on a Ryan Zimmerman ground ball. So the offense have made a lot of noise last night, not doing anything with Tyson Ross so far here. Not a good swing, but a late one to the right side.
Be sure to text Masson's word of the day, Elantra, to 29292 for a chance to win a meet and greet with Anthony Rendon. Brought to you by Hyundai. Visit your Washington area Hyundai dealers for the summer clearance sales event. Elantra.
Rendon to right. This is near the line. And hooking, slicing the other way. And Matt Kemp trying to grab it up against that barrier. Good effort.
That's not fun sliding in there on dirt. Big cement wall approaching, even though there's padding on it. Still hurts, especially below the padding where that cement is if your cleat hits, and that's exactly where his hit. Best thing about that play for the Padres, he didn't hurt his ankle. Watch where his foot hits. Right into that cement underneath there.
One ball, 2 strikes. That's up and away, 2-2. Solid contact, base hit, left field. So the Nats had gone 3 innings without a hit. That could be a game adjuster with Bryce Harper coming in. Things could change in a hurry in a 5-1 game.
Nice swing by Anthony Rendon. 5.5 hole, base runner aboard. And yeah, they've been trying Bryce Harper on the inner half right here. Dangerous place to go if you miss. This could be a 5-3 ball game in a swing, and that's what Matt Williams and that whole first base dugout's open. Instant ball game right here. No pressure, Bryce.
Mets has got a run in the 6th. They lead Philly 4-0. Time for the Nats to make some noise in the middle of this game, and that's way inside. Harper has struck out a walk. So Bryce has struck out 103 times. Not that high a total by today's standards for a guy doing this kind of damage. And he's walked 92 times. And this one out to right center. Looks well placed. It's on the ground. Rendon had to hold up. So Bryce hits a tweener. Upton and Kemp unable to get there. 2 on, 1 out.
Well, that ball was in the air a long time, and from our angle, it looked like Melvin Upton Jr. had a chance to run this down. Right off the edge, strong man hit that baseball a long way. That had no barrel on it at all. And watch this ball just kind of hang up there. And Melvin Upton Jr. no interest in diving for that. The line moving here in the 6th.
Well, the tying runs in the on-deck circle suddenly. Pitching coach Darren Balsley has paid a visit to the mound with Escobar coming up, and he's hit the ball hard twice. Ross at 81 pitches here, 1 out, 6th inning. He's a guy that doesn't pitch deep into games. At least this year, he has one complete game. A win at Arizona back on June 20th, but he's only gone 7 innings or more, including that complete game, 4 times all year. And really, 6 innings, not that many times. 16 out of 26 starts. So third time around's been a problem for him in terms of longevity. Way outside. Escobar, 9 home runs, 41 RBIs. Way inside, now the ball gets away, and 2 runners move up, and a base hit could make it a 2-run game. Things are changing here.
You kind of feel it. Now you need the big hit. And that's a free 90 feet for Anthony Rendon, a free 90 feet for Bryce Harper, and you watch the 2-seam fastball sink a little too much for Austin Hedges. And now Escobar with 1 swing has a chance to make this a ball game.
And Zimmerman next, then Desmond. This is where this lineup can be a real headache for an opposing pitcher. Escobar way out ahead of 84.
I think you just saw Matt Williams and Steve McCatty talking about what happens if this gets to the 9th slot. They're already thinking about maybe getting somebody up for Doug Fister.
That would be a big inning.
So you got to think.
Escobar with a hitter's count, 3-1. He's driven in 41. That's on the edge.
It's a good pitch. And if you're Escobar, now you got to fight. 3-1, you're looking for a mistake right down the middle that you can drive into a gap. You don't want to offer at this pitcher's strike right here, the run back fastball. That's a perfect pitch. Tip your cap.
Yeah.
Now you got one more shot. So what?
Perfect illustration on the Mercedes-Benz pitch track. Escobar, for him an easy take. And the bases are loaded with 1 out. And Ross has walked his second batter. And a guy who came up in a situation like this last night in the 6th inning, Ryan Zimmerman.
Okay, do it again. Not asking you to do a whole lot right here, Ryan. Just do what you did last night in the 6th.
Crowd on its feet, sensing something. Ryan has an RBI grounder in 2 trips tonight. 5 career grand slams.
Deep breath. Go to work.
Into right center. Ball carrying to the track. It'll be caught by Upton. 2 runners will move up. It's a 5-2 game. The ball got away off the glove of the second baseman, Jerko. And they'll have to give somebody an error because that put Escobar on second. So every runner ended up moving up on another Zimmerman RBI.
Well, I like the at-bat by Ryan. He wasn't waiting around for the slider. He was getting on the first fastball. He saw it happened to be the first pitch. Gave it a ride. And if Bryce Harper had eyes in the back of his head, he could have scored 2. But by the time he got to third base, he had already stopped, and there's no way Bob Henley could start him again. He hustled into third, but he was already there, so there was no chance of him scoring. But Yunel Escobar will take that 90 feet, so will the Nats.
Big at bat for Ian Desmond here. That's blown away.
I was waving Bryce Harper up here. Did you see me?
I saw you.
I don't think he saw me, though.
He didn't.
I was waving him home. And my watch hurt me.
They gave an error, by the way, to Jerko for dropping that throw. So into the 9 o'clock hour, and things a little more interesting than they were just a few moments ago. 2 outs. Ian Desmond, 23 RBIs his last 33 games. It's been a strike all night thanks to Bob Davidson.
Yeah, it has. And Tyson Ross, the veteran pitcher, is taking advantage of it. You're going to give me that? I'll take it all night. It's been off the plate 4 or 5 inches, and he's been getting it consistently.
Even close.
It's a hard pitch to cover when you have a guy that can execute it.
Ian Desmond took a big swing there. One ball, 2 strikes. Desmond pops it out of play.
Where there's times as a hitter, and it's so easy to say up here and so hard to do down there, when you just got to bite your teeth, jump out there on the outer half and bet on a slider and smoke it to right. And if he throws anything inside, he either hits you or breaks your bat in 400 pieces. He's thrown some fastballs into right-handers to keep him honest tonight. So that's what makes it so difficult as a right-hander. Just grit your teeth and jump out there and smoke some line drives to right off that slider. Way easier to say than do, but that has to be the mentality if you're going to have success against this guy right-handed.
Desmond on a pitch outside, strikes out. I tell you though, that strike called earlier, that'll set up a hitter for bad things later. Nats pick up 1. Doug Fister, first pitch, 7th inning. Out of play off the bat of Melvin Upton. And Doug has pitched well. He's given up 2 hits, but that double play off the fly ball, huge last inning. 19 pitches, 13 strikes to get 4 outs. Trying to get 3 more, but it's 2-3-4 for the Padres. If the Nats can get through this top of the 7th unscathed, they'll have Ramos, a pinch hitter, and then the top of the order. Doug Fister right in there, 1-2. Look at the drop on that curveball at 72. Straight down, 1 out, 7th inning. Nissan will try and track it.
Yeah, top of the zone, bottom of the zone. Good pitch by Fister. Hope they can't hold up.
Yeah, Melvin put the brakes on and still couldn't get to it. Here's Matt Kemp, 1 for 3 with that big double back in the 3rd.
Nats could use a little yeah baby here down the stretch, couldn't they? Just in general.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments of last season. Pretty good slider right there. Good take.
I mean, way outside, and Matt Kemp had no chance to reach it. So Doug Fister, 2 Ks in a row against 2 dangerous hitters.
Well, that'll bring us to Toyota Ks for Kids. The Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season. Pretty good slider right there. Pretty good pair of sliders to Matt Kemp off a pretty good curveball to Melvin Upton.
Here's Justin. And if he thought about leaning out, he got 88 off the plate inside. Out in front and look out. Hooking into the seats. Looks like a crowd in the low to mid 20s here tonight. One ball, one strike, way outside. Three-one pitch. In the air, right center. That's not coming back. Opposite field homer, Justin Upton. 2 long balls and 3 RBIs tonight. And that makes it 6-2 San Diego.
'22nd home run of the season, 2nd tonight. So strikeout 1st time up, homer 2nd time up, strikeout 3rd time up, homer 4th time up. And this ball was hit. He let that ball travel, let it get deep, and was thinking the other way the whole way. I mean, as a hitter, you know, especially a guy with 22 home runs, that if you pull a home run, you're not going to get anything on the inner half the rest of the night. So think the other way. He did. Good swing.
One ball, one strike now to Jed Jerko. He singled last time. Well, the Padres answer and get that 6th inning run the Nats scored right back. This one out to Ian Desmond. So Doug Fister will get 7 outs to get this game to the 7th inning stretch. But the homer puts San Diego back on top by 4. It's our Hyundai 7th inning stretch. For the Nats, Ramos, a pinch hitter, and then the top of the order. Long way to climb back. In any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Bryce Harper out in left field, 6-2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Get great promotions and giveaways while watching a pretty good baseball team play, the Potomac Nationals. For tickets and info, go to PotomacNationals.com.
Yonder Alonso, straight up switch for Derek Norris at first base. Hedges still behind the plate, so Norris done for the night.
And Tyson Ross is going to try to pick at that outside corner until he has to throw something out over the plate. He's been living out there because he's getting the calls.
Yeah, and he got that call on the inside edge. So you saw Clint Robinson. Nets looking for a little pop off the bench here. Wilson 1 for 2, 1-1 pitch. At last report in Detroit, Justin Verlander has a no-hitter going through 6 on 69 pitches against the Angels. And leading 5-0. Ross has struck out 9 tonight. Not that time. Ramos a screamer, and Jed Jerko picks it off the ground. Clean catch, 1 out. Wilson's hit it hard twice tonight.
Wilson's going back to first base. So are they going to review this or challenge it? He went to the dugout, then he went back to first. He's standing up for now. He's off of first.
And Bob Davidson walking over to have a conversation with Matt Williams.
That's why you throw it over anyways for younger players at home. Always take that low line drive and just throw it to first and let the ump make the call. That way you cover yourself. You don't know what they saw. Even if you know you caught it, maybe the umpire saw something different. So on a low line drive below your shoes, throw it across anyways. Throw it to first base, and now you got everything covered. But if you catch a low line drive and throw it around the infield, now if they saw something different, you're in trouble. I think he caught it, but we'll look at it again.
Looks like a catch.
But see, if he just throws this to first, then he's got it covered. But in his defense, he saw the out sign by first base umpire Hunter Wendelstedt, and he didn't throw it around.
So Clint Robinson, the pinch hitter. We're going to shift on him and leave Yangervis Solarte on the left side. Clint Barmas goes up the middle. Jed Jerko right field. First pitch foul.
What do you do right there if you review it and it hits and the player's already in the dugout and he never got to first and the throw was never made to first? How do you review that?
I guess if you review it, and because he would have been thrown out if the guy had made the throw. It's just it's an interesting situation. Take a guy out of the dugout, put him on first when he left. One and two to Clint Robinson.
Well, I just wanted to see that train wreck.
Felipe Rivero for the 8th inning. And Clint Robinson appears to have taken that off the foot.
Clint Robinson is an on-base machine.
He is.
Whether it's a walk, a hit, or a hit by pitch, he's going to give you a good at-bat. He's going to find any way he can to get on first base. Slider in the foot, take your base. He's not moving.
One on, one out. Denard Span 1 for 3. Padres have their bullpen busy. Sean Kelly's been throwing. And now the left-hander Zepchinski joins him with that cleanup hitter in mind, a few spots away. Clint Robinson almost got hit by that ball, got out of the way. He goes to third, Span to second, and Denard has a 2 for 4 night with a pair of doubles.
Well, you might question the 3-2 slider to Clint Robinson with a 4-run lead. You know, usually you'll see a guy challenge fastball right there. If he hits it a mile, so what? I still have a 3-run lead, but he goes 3-2 slider and hits Robinson in the foot. So ball 4, but a hit by pitch. And now Denard Span with his second double tonight. His swing looks good. And Pat Murphy out of the Padres dugout, and that's going to do it for Tyson Ross tonight, who was pretty good.
Yes, he was. He appears to have all the stuff you would want from a pitcher, but he will fail to go 7 again, and he was given a pretty big lead tonight. So the Padres bullpen has a lot of work left.
Check it. I think that's Nats Park, the red seats out in left center field. Thanks, Daryl Scott. Tweet your strongest fan photo, hashtag Nats Couch Cam, and you might see yourself in the bottom right-hand corner of a broadcast. You want to see something cool? Check out the Denard Span double go between the legs of Clint Robinson. Just getting out of the way of the bullet off the bat, Denard Span. If that hits him, he's out, and that's a base hit for Denard Span. I used to tell my teammates, I'm going to pull the ball and let it hit you. I need a hit so bad. Just when you're on first, just let the ball hit you. Please, that's how bad I need one.
Here's Worth. Again, Sean Kelly, who pitched a scoreless seventh last night. He got Turner, Span, and Jason Worth. Worth on a line drive to center. That was the first time he'd ever faced this righty. And that's upstairs. Ball one. So now that Ross is out of the game, let's see if the strike zone changes at all. Because everything on the outside edge or near it has been a gift tonight. Whole new ball game now with the bullpen working. 82, pretty good on the breaking ball. Worth couldn't have reached it.
We'll say this about Bob Davidson. He's been consistent out there, and that's all you really ask for from an umpire, just to be consistent. You'd like to have the ball over the plate, ideally. But if you're going to be wide away, stay that way the whole game and don't change. And both teams have an opportunity to take advantage of that wide strike zone to right-handers that Bob Davidson has shown here tonight.
Two and one to Jason Worth. Ball three. Four-run game, but this thing is far from over with the hitters the Nats have coming up here. And still just the seventh inning.
They're looking for the big knock right here.
Jason Worth takes a close one. And the bases are loaded for Anthony Rendon.
See, that's a pitch that's been a strike tonight. And Austin Hedges is having a chat with Bob Davidson about this pitch. We've seen pitches further off be called strikes tonight than that one. Jason Worth gets the benefit of the doubt. The line is moving. It's Anthony Rendon's turn.
Mercedes-Benz on the pitch track, and a moment ago we wondered, different pitcher, different zone. You just never know what's going to happen. So the tying run is in the batter's box. Rendon, a base hit to left last time. Came around to score eventually on the Zimmerman sac fly. Ball five.
Lurking.
We have the left-hander, Mark Zebchinski. .93, good fastball. Inner half.
You see the way Rendon took that. He was leaning. He wanted that ball outside. He's thinking about driving something to right center. And just by the way he took it, he's not looking for the ball in. Took a whirl at it, now put it in play.
With one out, pinch hitter Clint Robinson hit by a pitch. Denard Span pulled that double to right, and then Jason Worth with a great AB just took a base on balls. One, two, and that skips before being blocked by Austin Hedges.
I think Kelly tripped right there, just totally spiked that slider. Great block by Hedges. Can't do it any better than that. That's textbook.
Crowd of 29,932. Trying to get into it here. Seventh inning. Rendon on a pitch that was sitting up. Got a good cut. Well, they really have Anthony swung around toward right center here. Anything to the left side of second base on a line would clear the bases. That's ball 3. Counts full with 1 out.
Decisions. What do you throw here? Well, first of all, a strike. And I'm betting the way his slider's been hanging or spiked in the dirt that this is going to be a fastball. You just have to decide whether it's going to be in or out. I don't think he throws a 3-2 slider here. He did.
He did. He walks in a run, and this is a 6-3 game.
I mean, he hasn't thrown it for a strike since he's been out there, and he decides to throw it 3-2 with the bases loaded. Good at bat by Anthony Rendon. Line is moving. Down by 3 runs.
Well, Bryce Harper waiting near the on-deck circle like there's no way he's going to be facing a right-hander. And now the San Diego skipper, Murphy, comes out. So Kelly comes in and walks both batters he faces. Lefty-lefty matchup. The Nats are back in it. How far can they take it? These two faced each other last night in a situational appearance, and Bryce was walked. This lineup, constant pressure they can put on the other ball club. They've built a big inning here with 1 hit.
They have, and they're hanging around. And I said earlier, this is a character game. Let's see what you're made of. You look at the scoreboard, the Mets are way ahead of the Phillies. You're staring at 6.5 back. It's a 5-0 ball game, 5-1 ball game. What do you got? And all of a sudden, here they come. And now you got your guy up if you're Matt Williams, Bryce Harper. It's a left-on-left matchup. He's handled lefties well all season long. He got a sneak peek at this guy last night, which I think is key. Anytime you're facing somebody you haven't faced in a while or never faced. And that might come in handy for Bryce right now, getting a look at this guy last night.
Still only 1 out in the inning. And that ball was scorched by Wilson Ramos. So the crowd's alive here. It's a 6-3 game. Bases loaded, 1 out. And Bryce Harper represents the lead run.
We got a pitch. First pitch, fastball right down the middle. Might have been a hair amped up right there. Caught it out front. Watch the location of this pitch. And he's so amped up, but he's just a little quick.
Harper, center field. It's on the ground. 2 runs are coming in. Another man to third. It is 6-5. And Bryce is back in the top 10 of the National League with 76 RBIs.
I'd say, well, he lives for this situation, doesn't he? Missed the first pitch fastball. Look at him stay on the slider. Head to the baseball, not trying to do too much. Just puts it in play in right center. Great read by Anthony Rendon right there, getting to third base. He knew it was going to drop, and watch the emotion from Bryce Harper. Boom. Let's go. And I think you're finding out about the character of this ball club right here, right now. Not giving up, not quitting, battling, fighting, and a great at-bat from their big guy, Bryce Harper, and that's what big guys do. They come up clutch in big situations late.
Manager came down, talked to his lefty. Zepchinski stays. Now he's got to deal with Escobar. Yunel Escobar facing Mark Zepchinski for the first time. So now the big thing is getting that tying run home from third with fewer than 2 outs. Padres are going to play back for a double play. Escobar 1 for 2 with a single to left and a base on balls.
See if Bryce thinks about running here.
Yeah. Holding on the first one, and Hedges has to pick that one out of the dirt. The book, by the way, closed on Tyson Ross. He'll end up being charged with 4 runs, 2 in this inning. Ball 2.
It's a good take. It's a ground ball if you swing at it, and it looked like a strike for a while and had some good late sink.
Right-hander Kevin Quackenbush for the Padres. He left the lefty in here to face Escobar, hoping I guess he could turn one over on him and get a grounder. But it doesn't help when the guy goes 3-0 on a right-handed batter. And the Nats have a chance to load him up again.
Yeah, let it whirl if you get a good one. Why not? Fastball right down the middle, bell tie. Has to be your pitch. One pitch, one spot. Let it fly.
He did. Left side, and now he's going to have to hustle. On a 3-0 pitch, Escobar hits into a 5-4-3 double play. The Nats pick up 3. They were so close to tying the game, but a long way to go still.
The first 25,000 fans will receive a nesting doll featuring Max Scherzer, Bryce Harper, Ryan Zimmerman, and Mini Chad Cordero and Mini Frank Robinson. 100 lucky fans who find a gold ticket in their box will also receive a limited edition 10-piece nesting doll. Visit Nationals.com to purchase your tickets.
So Drew Storn now enters with the Nats down by a run in a hold-em situation. 50th appearance. Yonder Alonso will be first, then Austin Hedges and Clint Barmas. Well, Bryce did his part, chased home two.
Great list for those at-bats. And I still like the green light to Yunel Escobar. He just maybe got a little bit big there and tied himself up. It was a good pitch. And as a hitter, sometimes if you're thinking, I'm going to swing really hard right here, that's the danger of 3-0. You actually slow your swing down and tie yourself up.
Yonder Alonso against Drew Storn career 2 for 3 with a pair of solo home runs. This is an arm the Nats need badly down the stretch. That speared by Rendon on a hop. That ball was labeled for right center. And there's been a big-time momentum switch here at Nationals Park. Anthony Rendon keeps it going.
I had the diving play at third to end the game the other night. And now the diving play at second on a big one-hopper off the bat of Norris. Or Alonso, excuse me, but look at him lay out right here, get to his feet, plenty of time. Drew Storn approves. Nice play, Anthony Rendon.
Here's Austin Hedges. Faces Drew Storn for the first time. Good night, 2 for 3. Hit the ball well 3 times.
Get a chance to show you that Yunel Escobar 3-0 pitch. It was right down the middle. Just hit it off the end of the sweet spot. Might have been just a hair on the outer third, but he was thinking pull.
And a Drew Storn slider fouled off.
Show it to you one more time. 3-0 green light. Watch where the pitch is. Right there. Exactly where he's looking. And he just a lot of times designates whether he's going to pull or go the other way. And that was a big 3-0 swing, right? I'm going deep, grand slam, maybe a double in the gap. And just got a little bit too big and came around that ball for the ground ball.
That Verlander no-hit bid is now through 8. 2 walks, no hits, 100 pitches against the Angels. So we've seen Pfister, next teammate tonight. There's Max, another ex-Verlander teammate. Sitting with Reed Johnson, who has suffered a strange injury. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a bouncer out to short that'll back up Ian Desmond. A lot of spin on that thing, 2 outs.
Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and all kinds of stuff. Every night on every device, visit MLB.TV for details.
Clint Barmas, the shortstop, number 8 hitter. Reed Johnson, rehabbing, got hit in the side with a pitch. And then sometime after that, he sneezed and felt something really bad in his side, and he pulled his oblique.
You know, everybody kind of snickering at that injury. I've done that.
That's nothing to snicker about.
I did it the same way.
I mean, that's got to be painful.
I had a sneezing attack before a spring training game. I'm talking like one of those 50 sneezers. And the first swing I took in batting practice that day, pulled my oblique. And looking back, I think everything got tight with the sneeze, and that's how I pulled it. Not that uncommon.
Straight back to the screen, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Just had a rough year. Just when he's getting back, getting ready to contribute, that happens.
Counts 2-2 now. It's left-handed hitting first baseman Brett Wallace. Saw him in Houston a couple of years ago at the Astros. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's on deck. But Drew Storm's going to bend the slider right over the plate. And a 1-2-3-8 for Drew. Bottom of the 8th, Ryan Zimmerman, Ian Desmond, Wilson Ramos. 3 right-handed bats with pop. The Nats back to within a run, trying to get this thing back even. Ryan Zimmerman, bottom of the 8th inning. Nets down 6-5. And here's Joaquin Benoit, who came on last night. Struck out Ryan Zimmerman, ending the 8th inning. He got a scoreless frame under his belt last night after walking Escobar, retiring Rendon and Harper. So this guy's a tough customer, been around for a long time, an effective setup man. And of course, you know who's in their bullpen, right? Craig Kimbrell. If the Nats can't get this thing back even or get ahead.
Yeah, this is where you got to do it right here, right now. It's going to get tougher after this. Fastball 94, slider 87, changeup 84.
So Zimmerman 0 for 3 career against the right-hander, 38 years of age. And that slider down and away.
By the way, don't sleep on that 1-2-3 by Drew Storm. That was big for him.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the flinch by Bob Davis, and he wanted to call that strike. Did you see the umpire block?
Well, he did for 7 innings, or almost 7.
He just popped up and was thinking about it and decided, ball.
That is huge, making it a 2-0 count. Ryan 0 for 2 tonight, but 2 RBIs, ground ball, sac fly. He has 55. And he was trying to tie it with that big hack. Two now. Zimmerman, well hit, right field line, and heading out of play.
I don't know what it is about where we sit. I have such good depth perception to balls in left field, but right, it's hard to tell if they're fair or foul, and if they're long enough for a homer.
Yeah, we've got a little blind corner down there. Our position, our announced position, we're offset a little bit to the third base side. Our high home camera guy, Tom Ward, pretty much right in the middle, couple of levels below us. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Tell you what, he's challenging Ryan Zimmerman, not going to that changeup that he's kind of known for. He's staying with that 96.
Benoit in the big leagues since 01 with Texas. With them for 8 years. Tampa Bay in 2010, 3 years with Detroit, second season with the Padres. Two-two pitch again. Zimmerman takes it low.
The change was the pitch right there in a 2-2 count, but it was never a strike. It was always low right out of his hand, an easy take for Ryan. And now, what's he going to throw 3-2?
Zimmerman pulls it to the shortstop. That was mid-80s on the off speed. 1 out. Clint Barmas handles that. Desmond and Ramos the next 2. Tomorrow night, are the Nats going for a sweep or a series win? Andrew Cashner having a rough year. 5-12, 4.03 ERA, and now the younger Ross, Joe, will be looking to even his record at 5-5. Won his last start against Milwaukee. He was fantastic against the Brewers over the weekend. A run in 7 innings. Ian Desmond 0 for 3. And waves at a breaking ball that ends up well outside. 0 for 2 career against Joaquin Benoit.
Just missed. Good take. That could have went either way.
Well, Jonathan Papelbon warming up alone, so evidently ninth inning his no matter what the score is.
Fastball in, careful right here.
Yeah, he missed on the other side with it, but Esmond foul tipping it into the mid of Austin Hedges.
Now watch where Hedges is set up. He wanted the fastball in. And then walked through it to the other side of the plate and just foul tipped it into the glove.
Strike call up in the zone. 2 outs. Pretty good pitch.
Yeah, 96. I wanted to see the pitch track.
Yeah.
Had him leaning a little bit the other side, threw the fastball up and in.
Now it's Wilson Ramos. 0 for 1 career against Benoit. Danny Espinosa, number 9 spot, waiting. Phillies have scored 3 runs in the 8th inning and have 2 men aboard. 8-3 ball game against the Mets.
Doubled up on the changeup.
Pardon me. Yeah, not an 8 on the board out there, a 6, and now the Phillies have added another run. So that game, paralleling this one a bit, 6-4. And the Phillies still have 2 men on base.
I feel like you could announce that whole inning between pitches right now.
Things moving a little slowly, eh?
He's got some mannerisms. He's touching all different parts of his body between pitches and rubs up the ball every single pitch.
Now Ramos with a slow roller to the right side. Jed Jerko. So the Nats go 1-2-3 against Benoit. Bottom of the 8th inning. Papelbon on to keep it 6-5. Systems. They offer the technology you need when you need it. From outside the ballpark, long night of baseball here. Nats have been battling back from the early innings when the Padres got 4 in the third. Looking for a moonshot to get this thing tied, but that's a half inning away.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Where are we going with this one? Well, let's check out Bryce Harper in the 7th inning. Zebchinski on. He gets a slider out over the plate, drills it into right center. That scores Span and Worth. And light up this ball club and light up the ballpark.
Yeah, the Nats had the bases loaded with 1 out. The double play ball took care of the rally. Nats a run short. Jonathan Papelbon, first man up. Travis Jankowski, left-handed hitting outfielder, to face him.
Fastball 91, slider 80, split finger 86. Righty's hitting just 165 against Jonathan this year.
Jankowski batted 9th behind the pitcher last night, went 0 for 3. Solarte and then Melvin Upton ahead here. Escobar on the grass at third. A 1 pitch, and that's on the edge. Jonathan Papelbon joined the Nats almost a month ago in Miami. And in all of that time, he's had 3 save opportunities, 3 for 3. But he and Drew Storn have been pitching a lot in games tied or slightly behind. A couple of opportunities well ahead. And a swing and a miss for the first out, 9th inning.
All right, just going right after Jankowski with the fastball late. Good pitch.
Justin Verlander didn't get his no-hitter tonight. Chris Iannetta singled, actually doubled, leading off the 9th inning against Verlander to ruin his no-hit bid. Here's Solarte. In the air, left field. Ian Desmond watches it sail out to Jason Worth. Couple of quick outs. So Storn and Papelbon very efficient here. 1 more out to get it to the number 9 hitter, most probably Danny Espinosa, and then the top of the order, bottom 9. Craig Kimbrell, 35 saves on the year. By the way, since Kimbrell's rookie year, he and Jonathan Papelbon have the most saves. That's on the edge. Then he goes up with one. That ball hammered and hooked foul.
Thinking ways to solve Craig Kimbrell, and the Nats have had success against him in the past with him not throwing strikes.
It's about what you hope for.
Yeah. I mean, if Danny Espinosa leads it off, you might think about bringing a bunt with you, but bunting 98 isn't easy.
Then Papelbon tried to get Upton to bite on the 0-2 slider. Melvin Upton 3 for 18 career against the Nats. Right-handed closer. So the Phillies got 4 in the 8th. Mets are batting top of the 9th in a 2-run game now at Citizens Bank Park. Into the 10 o'clock hour here in D.C. BCFP DK, it's been a struggle all night long after the Padres led 4, then 5-0 after the 3rd inning and halfway through the 4th. Another breaking ball spinning in the dirt, 2-2.
We didn't think much of it at the time, but Justin Upton's home run in the 7th looming large right now.
Yeah. Second last man, Doug Fister, faced. Doug had done a solid job out of the bullpen, and so do Storen and Papelbon. Jonathan, couple of Ks. Here we go, bottom 9. The Nats against a familiar foe in Craig Kimbrell. Saves.
Yeah, 52nd appearance. Fastball mid to upper 90s. Got the wipeout power curveball to go with it. And you see what opponents are hitting against him. 192 on the season. He's given up 5 home runs this year. But in save opportunities, he has a 2.17 ERA, a 5.40 ERA in non-save situations. And the one thing the Nats have more than probably a lot of teams in the West is knowledge of this guy on the mound. They've faced him a bunch.
Yes, they have. Danny Espinosa against Kimbrell, 2 for 12 career. One of those hits, a home run. '87. He doesn't see the fastball on the first offering. Danny 1 for 7 with a pinch home run as a pinch batter this year. Denard Span swinging the bat well is next. .46, .42, .50, and 47 saves last 4 years for Atlanta. One of the more surprising deals as spring training came to a close this year.
11 saves in the month of July. Padres won 13 games in the month. He saved 11 of them.
Wow. And then finally, Danny Espinosa sees the fastball. A couple of sliders will make you late for 98. Foul tip, 1 out. Tomorrow night, Joe Ross, Andrew Cashner. Nats trying to pull some of that magic out against the Padres again tonight. They've beaten them 13 of the last 19 times they've met. That goes back 3+ years. Their only better record against anybody from the West, 14-6 against Arizona. So here's Denard. Span 2-for-9 career against Craig Kimbrell. Then he starts off another hitter with a breaking ball. Span a pair of doubles tonight, 2-for-4. And the Mets just picked up 3 runs in the top of the 9th, 9-4 at Philadelphia. They're scoring almost at will these days. Nats have to find a way to keep pace.
They have to find a way to not rely on Philadelphia.
That would be really good. One and two. Target is outer half. Span pulls it, but it's right to Jed Jerko. 2 down. It'll be up to Jason Worth.
Well, if you can get on, that's the hard part against Craig Kimbrell. You can steal second. He's a guy that's real deliberate to the plate, really concentrates on the hitter. But the hard part's stealing first.
Jason 0 for 3 with a walk, a run scored tonight. .98, and from where we see it with our center field camera, that seemed to have some rise to it. Worth 1 for 9 career, 3 walks against Craig Kimbrell.
The reason it has the appearance of rising is because A, it's 98, and B, he's so short.
Yeah, not a tall guy at all.
5'10", 5'11", and then he's a drop and drive guy. So he's starting low, getting lower, and that's why the fastball looks at times like it's going up instead of down.
And he can buckle you with a slider that's 89. Nats down to their final strike here.
You'd think a fastball up and in to get to a slider on the other side.
Two the count. And Worth high in the air. This will be close. 3 Padres chasing, and it just does get into that first aisle behind the 1 row of seats.
Tell himself to get on top. You see him trying to create the angle there with his shoulders. Tough to get on top of 98, though.
Anthony Rendon on deck. Bryce Harper in the hole. And Worth reaching out to get a piece of that fastball.
99.
.65 Padres have out hit the Nats 10-7. Worth waging quite a battle here. And he hits it fair. Third base bag, Solarte. And the Nats won't be able to sweep the series. They'll be going for a series win tomorrow night. But San Diego draws back even with a 6-5 win in frustrating fashion here tonight. So for FP and for Dan, Bob Carpenter, long ball game. About 3:07 to be exact, and the Nats drop at 6-5 with Gio having a rough night. 6:30 Nats Extra tomorrow night with Johnny and Ray. And from Nationals Park, this has been a presentation of Masson. Stay tuned, Nats Extra straight ahead. And from the booth, so long for just a while.